Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
Hi guys. Firstly, I do a terrible job filming these self-care monthly vlogs. Holy, I need to book out time on my calendar a month in advance or something because man, am I terrible. I'm also pretty sure that this video is going to go up after my weekly vlog, so our schedule is a little bit crazy this week, but I did want to get this, I do back to seriousness. I do want to get this video out before release day for Curse of Wings and Darkness and before October hits. So I am trying to get it all filmed and ready and scheduled and sent out and whatnot before that. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get this ready to go and maybe get it up and out on Monday, which is also fun, the cover reveal for Curse of Blood and Sight. So speaking of Curse of Blood and Sight, I think it is worth making this video not just a reflection of all things that has happened in September and how I've been taking care of myself, but I also think that maybe we need to talk about the schedule of events for the remainder of 2024 because I have so many projects going right now that I don't think I've done maybe the best job of pushing out to you guys exactly how everything falls. So now that I have officially finished writing Frozen as Friends, I think it's time that we sit down and talk about that. So we'll do that. But first, I think we do need to talk about what has been going well in September and then maybe what I am planning to do next month right now. Something that I have done differently this month, mostly by accident, is I've actually been online less. Well, not so much online less, but I am posting less content to my social media accounts. And it started because in September, I had a TikTok that got flagged. And as a result, I think they kind of shadow banned me. So basically my content stopped getting pushed out at the same rate that it was. And I kind of think that's going to continue until maybe the first part of October because it has been a while. And this is not the first time I have had content get flagged, but this is the first time that I tried to repeal it and it wasn't going well. So I just went ahead and pulled the video entirely. Instagram had no issue with it. YouTube had no issue with it. I have no issue with it. I really don't think the video was a problem. TikTok was saying that it was sexual in nature and there wasn't anything overly sexual about it. Yes, it was hinting at sexuality because that's just what the book is to a degree. There is sex in the book. And I've never not promoted it that way. But for whatever reason, something about this particular video, TikTok did not like. I have an idea that maybe somebody went in and flagged it. I don't think TikTok itself maybe did that. You know how when you're scrolling on TikTok, sometimes it'll give you that prompt, do you think that this video is appropriate, just so it can help categorize it? And I have kind of a feeling that maybe that's what happened. And somebody said, just nicely, I don't think anyone meant it to be mean or anything, but maybe somebody said, no, this is not maybe good for viewers under 18. I don't know. I'm just coming up with theories here, but anyway, basically what happened is TikTok stopped pushing out my content, I was going from like 300 or more views to barely getting like 15 to 20 one day, which is not like me, and it very much told me there was something wrong. And so I started trying to do different content, and that didn't make a difference either. And that's when I realized the video had been flagged and that I was likely just shadow banned for a time period. So I've still been posting, but I have been posting about once a day to TikTok. And so that means that I'm posting reels about once a day. I have upped the number of YouTube shorts I've been posting just because we are going into release week in October. But all of that has been content that I have already created or am posting also to reels in TikTok. So I'm not having to create any new content for shorts. So long story short, I have been posting less content. And what I have learned is that it's kind of taught me to be a little bit more content with the time being. I am a very forward focused person. I'm always thinking about what's coming next, always setting goals, always on to the next thing. And it has made me do a mental shift to being happy and celebrating my current position. And it's really funny that that's what's changed, because other things I have done in September is I finished writing Frozen with Friends, and this book was incredibly difficult for me to get through. I actually thought about doing maybe a complete rewrite when I came back to it, because it was just, I had a lot of negative feelings attached to it. It was a book I wrote. I had started writing over December and January last year when my mental health took a turn. Things were just not lining up. I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I was drowning. And so I couldn't see my way out because I couldn't see how I was going to get where I wanted to be while I was barely maintaining where I was to begin with. So it was really hard to come back to that book, but I really wanted to. And as I read it and decided where the story was going, I found that I had actually written a ton of myself into it, more than I normally do. And that's a bit of a no, because you can get really attached to a story and not everyone's going to be attached to it. And so it can be difficult to publish something and then get feedback on it that is not positive. So I am already planning that some people are just not going to like it. But I really like Frozen as Friends. It follows Margot's story after she's coming back from a sports injury that has changed a lot of her trajectory, and her entire life goal of becoming a professional soccer player is now completely up in the air, and she doesn't know how to cope with that. And she's having a really difficult time slowing things down and enjoying where she is right now in life and not being so caught up in the end point. And I realized, especially as I got to the final third of this video and Margot had to come to terms with things, I realized, wow, that is exactly where I tend to fall a lot of the time. And so I gave myself a bit of a reality check as well when I finished writing this book. And I am trying to do a lot more of like time audits and be a lot more conscious of things that are going well and not so much focus on where I want to be in a couple weeks or a month from now. I'm trying to slow things down, and it's been easy because I already schedule everything out in my publication timeline top to bottom. So I plan out the entire year. I set all of my due dates. I do all of that. And then I go in after I feel good with that and set where everything falls monthly. And then after that, I can focus on just the month at hand and plan out my weeks into the next month. And that's how I already work. And so now that I've done that, and I've started with my sticky note method where I make a short to-do list for each day. And so instead of thinking about the entire week and the entire month, I'm only looking at a given day. It has made it a lot easier for me to make that shift and not feel so overwhelmed, and actually find that I have a lot more time during the day than I think I do to just enjoy myself with no other goals in mind, no other like no reason for doing the things I'm doing, just doing tasks to enjoy them. Like sitting and reading a book. I've been reading a lot more recently. And I'm feeling refreshed. So I'm really glad that I made that shift in September. And I definitely plan to continue that going into October. So that has been a really nice change pace for September. All right, now let's get to the whole timeline and the last of things coming into the new year. Honestly, this is something that could be a whole video in itself, and I probably will record a separate video once I get more details into place, but just the general idea for those of you watching my monthly vlogs. Going into October 1st is the release day for Curse of Wings and Darkness, and I'm so excited. Buzz online has started to pick up. I've scheduled out an ad on the 4th, so a couple days after release day, to try and boost some interest as well. I'm trying to see if I can play the Amazon algorithm a bit and try to feed into the rankings and maybe get pushed out on their algorithm a bit more. I've never tried to focus on that ever, but I feel like I have enough going for me and enough backing that I can strategically do it, or at least attempt it this time around. So that's what I'm trying. I figure the best way to promote your book is to write the next one. And so I've been doing a lot of release information for Curse of Blood and Sight, which is the second book in that series. The cover reveal officially is tomorrow. Patreon members have already seen it. So if you want to see all of those early things, you can find the link to my Patreon below. Become a member. You'll get access to all past information and all of those early releases moving forward. So there's that. Tomorrow, I will release the cover for Curse of Blood and Sight publicly. And then Tuesday, the next day, is release day. So it lines up really nice to continue building interest and promoting that book. Moving past release day for Curse of Wings and Darkness, we will start into like the holiday season. So I will be doing a lot of promotion, of course, for Curse of Wings and Darkness, but also for the next release, which is the re-release of Winter Witches, which got a new cover and a new steamy scene in it. We are re-releasing it on November 1st. So just in time for post-Halloween into Thanksgiving, Christmassy time. So that book will come out November 1st. And then my plan is to release Frozen as Friends next, hopefully on December 1st. So I have not officially planned that stuff out because I still need to get with my editor, do edits, all that jazz. But it looks pretty for sure that I will be able to get Frozen as Friends out on December 1st. So I am very excited. And that brings me to the end of the year. After that, really after now that I've finished Frozen as Friends, I am transitioning back to writing Trial of Flame and Wings, which is the dragon-esque inspired book. I like to say it's more like Serpent and the Wings of Night meets Fourth Wing kind of book. It is set in a fantasy world, which is something I have not published, but I've done a lot of writing in my past. So I am so excited to delve into this story. It is so fun. I love it so far, and I've been dying to get back to it. It's very I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of Viking music as I write it. It has got a very strong female man character. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna love it. So I am going to transition back to writing that book while I'm doing all of the last of that publication detail for the end of the year. And then Trial of Flame and Wings should come out in the spring. I still have not nailed down the date. I have a date for myself I'd like to hit, but I don't have a date officially for release. So that is all of the things going for September into October and into the new year. So, oh gosh, I promise. I say this every time though, but I swear I'm going to come up with some kind of a system so I can do a better job of releasing my self-care vlogs more consistently, doing a better job putting information in it and not just like these sit down talk videos either, even though I feel like this time around, because there's so much movement and probably for the next few months as well, it will be a little more like this just because there's a lot of stuff to report. So yeah, we will see what is left to come in 2024. Exciting stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, read books, be kind, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.